Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we'll be exploring what the T-virus is. One of the most terrifying, complex, and lethal compounds ever created in the world of video games is undoubtedly the T-virus. This dangerous biological weapon, developed in the laboratories of the infamous Umbrella Corporation, not only led to the fall of Raccoon City, but also marked the beginning of a series of catastrophic events that redefined humanity's fate in the Resident Evil universe. That's why, in this video, we will deeply explore the origin, evolution, and devastating consequences of the T-virus within the video game series. From its creation in Umbrella's laboratories to its effects on humans and other creatures, we'll analyze how this virus forever changed the course of history in Resident Evil. The T-virus has its roots in the Progenitor virus, a strain discovered in 1966 by Oswell E. Spencer, James Marcus, and Edward Ashford, three scientists with differing views on the potential of genetic manipulation. The history of the Progenitor virus begins in Africa, where Spencer funded an expedition to investigate a mystical plant known as Stairway of the Sun. This plant had unique properties. When its compounds were introduced into living organisms, they caused extreme cellular mutations. The virus effects on humans were terrifying, as the T-virus has a profound biological impact on living organisms, rewriting their DNA and causing unpredictable mutations. In humans, the effects of the virus occur in several stages. In the initial phase, which lasts from 0 to 24 hours after infection, the infected will exhibit high fever and increased body temperature, accelerated metabolism, and high energy consumption, changes in skin pigmentation, taking on a pale or grayish tone, and finally internal hemorrhages and organ dysfunction. In the intermediate phase, which lasts from 24 to 72 hours after infection, they will experience severe neurological damage, loss of consciousness, and partial brain death, followed by reanimation of the body through stimulation of the brainstem, loss of advanced cognitive functions, turning the host into a zombie. There will be an increase in aggression and cannibalistic behavior due to a biological need to consume fresh meat to delay the body's degeneration. And in the advanced phase, after 72 hours and only in special subjects, those with greater genetic compatibility, the virus can cause advanced mutations instead of simply turning the subject into a zombie. This can lead to abnormal growth of muscle and bone tissue, enhanced cellular regeneration, increased physical strength and endurance, development of additional structures such as claws or extra limbs, and in some cases, limited intelligence and combat adaptation ability. This discovery led Spencer, Marcus, and Ashford to experiment with the virus in search of creating a new race of evolved humans, but their paths would soon diverge due to differences in their scientific visions. Once the Progenitor virus was isolated in the laboratory, conflicts arose between the three scientists. Edward Ashford wanted to use the virus to improve the quality of life for humans. James Marcus sought to apply the virus biology to manipulate organisms and create new forms of life. Oswell E. Spencer, with more sinister ambitions, saw in the virus the key to creating an army of biological weapons. In 1968, Spencer, manipulating his partners, founded Umbrella Corporation, ostensibly a pharmaceutical company, but actually a cover for the development of biological weapons. That same year, Ashford died in a laboratory accident, which allowed Spencer to consolidate his control over the virus research. James Marcus, though still at Umbrella, was relegated to a secondary role. Marcus, isolated in an Umbrella laboratory, began experimenting with leeches and the Progenitor virus in search of a more stable and adaptable version of the virus. In 1978, after years of testing, he succeeded in developing the Tyrant Virus. However, Marcus couldn't continue his research for long. In 1978, Oswell E. Spencer, one of the founders of Umbrella Corporation, ordered the assassination of James Marcus, the brilliant scientist behind the discovery of the Progenitor virus and the creation of the T-virus. Marcus was killed by his own bodyguards, Albert Weskier and William Birkin, who were young scientists under his command. After the assassination, Spencer took full control of Umbrella and all its research facilities. Marcus' experiments at Umbrella's training facility were shut down, and the development of the T-virus moved to other laboratories, especially to the Spencer Mansion in the Arklay Mountains and the facilities in Raccoon City. However, what Spencer didn't know was that James Marcus wasn't completely dead. His body, exposed to the T-virus, underwent an extreme mutation, eventually allowing him to return from the dead years later as a grotesque creature with regenerative abilities and the power to control the infected. This event would have consequences in the events of Resident Evil Zero. After Marcus' death, William Birkin took the lead in T-virus research. Over the years, Umbrella developed several versions of the virus to improve its stability and applicability in BOWS. The main variants of the T-virus were the T-alpha and beta virus, an early improved version of Marcus virus, designed to infect and reanimate human corpses as zombies, used in the experiments at the Spencer Mansion. The T-002 virus, or Tyrant prototype, created with the goal of producing super soldiers with intelligence, used in the creation of the first Tyrant, the T-002, which appears in Resident Evil 1. The T-Veronica virus, developed by Alexia Ashford, an advanced variant of the T-virus combined with insect DNA. Unlike the regular T-virus, it allows controlled mutation in compatible subjects, used in Resident Evil Code Veronica. The T-virus also served as the basis for the creation of several biological weapons throughout the Resident Evil saga, with Umbrella and other organizations developing new strains with different mutations and effects. One of the most important is the G-virus, or Golgotha virus, created by William Birkin from the Progenitor virus and the T-virus. Unlike the T-virus, which kills and reanimates the infected, the G-virus allows continuous, uncontrollable mutations, as seen in Birkin himself, who transformed into a monstrous creature with accelerated regeneration. Later on, the Neo-Umbrella organization created the C-virus, combining the T-Veronica virus and the G-virus. This virus not only created zombies, but also gave rise to the Javo, creatures capable of regenerating and undergoing extreme mutations in combat. On the other hand, the Ouroboros virus, introduced in Resident Evil 5, was an attempt by Albert Weskier to create the ultimate evolution of humanity, combining the Progenitor virus with nanotechnology, resulting in massive mutations with organisms covered in tentacles and black protrusions. Finally, the T-Abyss virus, developed in Resident Evil Revelations, was based on the T-virus but mixed with marine organism DNA, allowing for more aggressive infections and adaptability in aquatic environments. Together, all of these viruses are direct descendants of the T-virus and the Progenitor virus, each designed with different objectives, but sharing the same lethal biological foundation that Umbrella perfected over the years. While Umbrella perfected the T-virus, an accident at the Spencer Mansion triggered the first major leak of the virus. A scientist accidentally broke a vial of the T-virus, releasing it into the facility. It spread quickly through direct contact and the air, infecting the laboratory staff. The infected began to reanimate as zombies and attacked the remaining personnel. Many BOWS, including the Hunters and Cerberus, escaped from their containers. The virus also reached the nearby forests, infecting wild animals and causing the disappearance of hikers and local residents. This caught the attention of the Raccoon City Police Department, which led to the investigation by the STARS, the elite team led by Albert Weskier, who was secretly working for Umbrella. The events of the Arklay outbreak set the stage for the largest biological disaster to date, the epidemic in Raccoon City. After the outbreak at the Spencer Mansion, Umbrella tried to cover up the incident. However, the scientists moved the experiments to the underground Umbrella facility in Raccoon City, which eventually led to a massive T-virus leak in the city. The first infected were laboratory employees and RPD officers. The virus spread through water and air, quickly turning the population into zombies. Creatures like lickers and hunters were released into the streets. William Birkin, in an attempt to protect his research, injected himself with his own creation, the G-virus, mutating into a monstrous creature and causing even more chaos. The outbreak in Raccoon City marked the collapse of Umbrella Corporation and led to the intervention of the U.S. government's secret organization, which sent Leon S. Kennedy and other agents to contain the crisis. Eventually, the U.S. government decided to destroy Raccoon City with a nuclear strike, eradicating all evidence of the T-virus and its mutations. In conclusion, the T-virus is highly contagious, and its effects on the human body can vary depending on exposure, the subject's resistance, and the strain of the virus. However, in most cases, the infection leads to a series of fatal symptoms and extreme mutations. In certain subjects, the T-virus can cause more severe mutations, especially in organisms with high genetic compatibility with the virus or prolonged exposure. Throughout the Resident Evil saga, different treatments and antidotes have been developed to counteract the T-virus infection. However, their effectiveness depends on the degree of infection and how quickly they are administered. For example, the Daylight vaccine from Resident Evil Outbreak, created by Dr. Peter Jenkins, can eliminate the T-virus in the early stages of infection. It is the most effective known cure, but its production is limited. Additionally, some games have mentioned antidotes developed in Umbrella's laboratories, although many were not distributed due to the company's corruption. Jill Valentine is an example of this, as she was infected with the T-virus, but Carlos Oliveira administered an experimental serum that halted the mutation, although it didn't completely remove the virus from her body. And in extremely rare cases, certain individuals may show a natural resistance to the T-virus, even though their DNA has been subject to experimentation by Umbrella. And that is all we know so far about the compound known as the T-virus. The first time I learned about this compound was, ironically, in the Resident Evil movies, specifically the first one. When I was a child, I wasn't a huge fan of zombies as they scared me, but I did enjoy the stories and the lore surrounding the topic. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you already know about the T-virus? Do you think such a terrifying compound could actually exist? And finally, if you saw one of the virus mutations, what would you do? Share your answers to these questions and your general opinion about the T-virus in the Resident Evil universe. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, share it to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my new videos.